Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Krishna, Prabhu, please come.
We have a mass exodus. We're checking IDs to make sure nobody over 18 is going up. You know, all the kids. Over 13? 13 and up is stuck down here with me. I'm sorry for that. We'll make it brief. So thank you all for coming tonight to discuss. What are we discussing today? Lord Nityananda Ram. So how many of you are here for maybe the first time hearing about Lord Nityananda in detail? Oh, very nice. And the rest of you are veterans? Well versed in the glories of Lord Nityananda? Well, the beauty is of Lord Nityananda's pastimes, whether we've heard them 0 times, once, or 1,000,000 times, each time we hear them, they're very sweet and relishable. So, with your blessings, we hope to have a nice discussion today on the glories of Lord Nityananda Ram. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
So I'll read today from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 5, text number 5. And we'll read a few of the other translations also. Just the translation of text 3. This is Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami discussing. I have described the glory of Sri Chaitanya in 6 verses. Sri Krishna Chaitanya in 6 verses. Now, in 5 verses, I shall describe the glory of Lord Nityananda. Then this is text 4. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is the fountainhead of all incarnations. Lord Balaram is his second body. And so this is the verse we'll read or recite today, text 5. Eke swarupa done bina matrakaya adyakaya vyuha Krishna lila sahaya. Translation. These two are one and the same identity. They only differ in form. Lord Balaram is the first bodily expansion of Krishna, and he assists in Lord Krishna's transcendental pastimes. Balaram, purport, by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Balaram is a Swamsha expansion of the Lord, and therefore there is no difference in potency between Krishna and Balaram. The only difference is in their bodily structure. As the first expansion of Godhead, Balaram is the chief deity among the first quadruple forms, and he is the foremost assistant of Sri Krishna in his transcendental activities. This is text 6. That original Lord Krishna appeared in Navadvip as Lord Chaitanya, and Balaram appeared with him as Lord Nityananda. May Sri Nityananda Ram be the object of my constant remembrance. Sankarshana, Shesha, Naga, and the Vishnus who lie on the Karana ocean, Garbha ocean, and ocean of milk are his plenary portions and the portions of his plenary portions. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parirana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusate Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubheva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Veshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So who is Lord Nityananda? Lord Balaram. And who is Lord Balaram?
Krishna's second body.
Seshnan, Krishna's second body, Krishna's first expansion. Any difference in potency between Krishna and Balaram? No. Only difference is in their body, in their form, in their color. So Lord Balaram is the fully potent expansion of Krishna. No difference, just in color. And that's why Srila Prabhupada in Srimad Bhagavatam, when referring to even Lord Balaram, calls him the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is not a typo. That is based on our Shastra, based on evidence. That there is no difference in potency. And Lord Balaram's chief occupation is to serve his beloved Krishna. And Lord Balaram is the perfection of service to Krishna in all 5 rasas. And thus, Lord Balaram is also, most importantly to all of us, he is the Adi Guru, the source of all Guru Tattva. Guru is the expansion of the Lord's energy and potency to bring one to Krishna consciousness. And so all Guru Tattva emanates from Lord Balaram. So the pastimes of Lord Balaram and the activities of Lord Balaram teach us the process of devotional service. How to become fixed in devotional service. And we know that without the mercy of Guru, one cannot get the mercy of Krishna. And without the mercy of Krishna, one cannot get the mercy of Guru. For you logicians out there, our minds start to scramble. Let's hold that thought for a second. So, Krishna and Balaram come to perform their pastimes. And now, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami is saying that the original Lord Krishna appeared in Navadvip as Lord Chaitanya. And Balaram appeared with him as Lord Nityananda. So this is like Act 2 or the sequel, right? In some great movie, they try to make a sequel, right? Part 2. And usually part 2 is never as good as part 1, right? That's the material world. Well, in the spiritual world, the sequel is always better than the prequel. And that is what we'll see. How the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda are so wonderful and full of mercy and compassion for all of us. So we are entering into a very important season or time of the year in which we'll be celebrating the appearance days of Lord Nityananda. We just celebrated the appearance of Lord Advaita Acharya on Tuesday. And then this coming Monday is the appearance day of Lord Nityananda. We'll be having a 2-day festival, both Sunday and Monday. Monday is the actual day. So please make it a priority to come. If there is any success in today's discussion, the result will be you all will book your ticket and reservation to come and see Lord Nityananda on his appearance day on Monday. So if there is any success that manifests from today's discussion, that will happen. So that is the goal. How to build upon this strong, because I'm sure we have many other activities to do, many engagements, many other responsibilities, and they're all very important. But I think if after understanding a little bit about Lord Nityananda, we'll see this is actually most important. So this Monday will be the appearance of Lord Nityananda. And then of course we have the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu coming up in March. I don't even know. What's the exact date? Anybody remembers? 13th? March 13th? Is that verified? Or is that speculation? Something along there. Someone will look and tell. So, we'll be discussing over the next several weeks this the glories of Panchatattva. So we have this verse, Panchatattva Atmakam Krishna Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavatan Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. That this Lord has appeared in 5 forms. Pancha Tattva. 5 forms. One is appeared as we saw in this verse, Lord Krishna appeared in Navadvip as Lord Chaitanya. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none other than Krishna himself. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not an avatar or an expansion. He is Krishna himself appearing. So sometimes Krishna expands himself into different incarnations to appear. Of those there are many and unlimited numbers, like Lord Nrsimhadev, Vamandev, Matsya Kurma. I'm sure all the kids can tell us all the Dasavatars very sweetly in their songs. And sometimes Krishna comes himself. Just like the king, sometimes sends his ministers to take care of some business. And sometimes he comes himself. And usually he comes himself when there's something very significant to do or significant to offer. So in the appearance of Panchatattva, first appeared Advaita Acharya. And Advaita Acharya came to present this devotional service in its purest form. And he is called Acharya because he was teaching the process by his own example. But in his process to try to break our consciousness from the entanglement with the material energy, he found himself incapable. Who is Advaita Acharya? It is the combination of Mahavishnu and Sadashiv. Very, very powerful. How powerful? He is just laying down on the Karna ocean, on Karandakshay Vishnu. And from the pores of his skin are emanating millions of universes. How much effort and energy it takes us to construct one beautiful home like this. And this home is just one tiny speck within this planet. And this planet is one tiny speck within this entire universe. And this universe is like one grain of sand. Or Prabhupada would often say, one mustard seed in a bag of mustard seeds. That creation Mahavishnu is doing by just lying down and enjoying an Anantashesh. So we can see how powerful he was. But he deemed himself unqualified, incapable of breaking our attachment to the material energy. So he prayed and begged the Lord that no, you yourself must come and do this service. You have sent me, but it's not working. So now the big boss has to come. So he prayed on the banks of the Ganges and begged and roared. Krishna says, I was just resting, enjoying, and I heard the roar of Advaita Acharya summoning me to come and save the world. So, by that prayer, Krishna decides to appear as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But of course, whenever Krishna appears, Lord Balaram is always with him. Just like when Lord Ram performed his pastimes, who was with him? Lakshmana. So, when Krishna came, of course, Lord Balaram came. And so if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going to come as Krishna, then of course, Lord Nityananda is going to appear. So Lord Nityananda comes to accompany Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we chant this prayer, Namo Mahavadanaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Goda Tvishe Namaha. Namaha. Offering my obeisances to who? Namo Mahavadanaya Krishna Prema. This Krishna who is giving Krishna Prema, he is most merciful. He is most merciful. And what is the definition of mercy? What does mercy mean? What does mercy mean? Feeling the pain of others. Okay. That's a good start. So feeling the pain of others. What else? Compassion. Compassion. What does compassion mean? Loving others. Understanding their problem, circumstance, situation.
Abhaya.
Huh?
Abhaya, giving abhaya.
Giving abhaya. Okay, so giving. So understanding, feeling, but mercy means, let's take it one step further. To
Save.
To save. To give the solution. It's one thing to understand somebody's difficulties. It's one thing to be sensitive and compassionate to somebody's sympathies. But it's another thing to put forth one's personal effort and endeavor to uplift them from their difficulties, from their suffering. Okay? So this mercy, it is the feeling of pain, seeing someone else's suffering, and the intense desire to put forth unlimited effort to uplift someone from that suffering. And so what makes Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Mahavadanaya? But what makes him Mahavadanaya? Mahavadanaya means most merciful. What makes him most merciful? Because who is more capable than Krishna himself of alleviating us from our suffering? Anybody? Nobody. Even the love of mother and father is not unlimited in their ability to uplift the circumstance of their child. But Krishna can uplift our circumstance completely. And what makes him most merciful is that this solution, this formula, he is giving freely to everyone. Not to just those who qualify, right? The doctor, at least most doctors, they'll treat those who have agreed to make some payment to them, who have gone through the effort to make some appointment, wait in their waiting room, right? Much effort is required. Then doctor will treat. But this doctor, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is just giving to anyone and everyone. And the most merciful aspect of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is that the less qualified you are, you stand in the front of the line. Normally we make a line based on one's qualification, right? When a company is hiring somebody, they'll get all the resumes and they'll sort them. These are the most qualified. This is second batch. This is third batch, right? Do they call the third batch first and see if anybody takes the job? No. They take the first batch. They see if they can get somebody. If not, then they'll go to second batch and third batch, right? Like this. This is how material works. But what does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu do? He says, if you are most unqualified, you are most deserving of my mercy. And you are the first recipient of my love and compassion. This is how desperate Krishna was to be reunited with us. Because we know that we are suffering in this material world. At least we have, when we take a step back, we can see that this material world is a place of constant suffering. We get momentary lapses of some enjoyment, some happiness, but it is sandwiched between periods of difficulty and suffering. That is the nature of this world. But you know who is suffering even more than us? Krishna himself. How? What is the source of his suffering? He is enjoying in the material world with unlimited opulence, unlimited wealth, so many loving servants, beautiful arrangements. So how he can be suffering? Who's his child? All of us. He is missing all of us. And that is causing great pain in Krishna's heart. And even more pain when even all of us have completely even forgotten him. Imagine what the pain a mother and father feels when child has forgotten them. And when a child has left the home, has been separated from mother and father, who is more anxious to be reunited? Mother and father or child? So this is the mood of Krishna. He is so anxious and eager for all of us to stop this suffering. And why Krishna wants us home? So he can enjoy with us? Why Krishna wants us home? So his census status will go up. I have more population now here in my spiritual world. Why Krishna wants us home?
He don't want his child to suffer in this.
He doesn't want his child to suffer in the material world. Sometimes in our foolishness we blame Krishna for our suffering. But we know that our presence in this material world, which is full of birth, death, old age, and disease, is only the responsibility of ourselves. We have made the desire, we have made the decision, and thus we are left with the result. But even though we made the decision, the desire, and the result now, Krishna is still so anxious for us to return back home to Him. And thus He comes in so many different incarnations to try to inspire us back home, back to Godhead. And when He comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, He comes in this most merciful mood in which He is committed. Now I'm going to deliver everyone and anyone. The most unqualified becomes the most qualified, or the first in line for His mercy. So that is not a license for us to try to become unqualified. Don't worry, we are all unqualified, at least myself speaking alone. Most unqualified to receive the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But by His endless compassion, He is giving us this easy, free ticket back home, back to Godhead. But what is our problem? Our false ego. We don't see it. It is like someone has given us a bag full of jewels, and all we see are some stones and rocks and sand. We have something of value, but we don't see it. And so what do we do with that? Bags of stones and rocks and sand? We just leave it on the side and go on to our business. What is this heavy burden? I don't need to carry this. And I set it aside. But what are we setting aside? The most valuable thing. So we hear all this philosophy about our chanting, about our sadhana, reading Srila Prabhupada's books, coming to Srila Prabhupada's temple, rendering service, chanting the holy names, honoring Krishna Prasadam. All these things we hear. But what do? We do. But other times we put on the side and get to other higher priorities. This is just because we are seeing sand, stones, and pebbles, when actually we have rubies, diamonds, and emeralds. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to try to break this illusion for us. But there's a catch. One cannot get the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu without the mercy of Lord Nityananda. How many of us knew that? No? Now we know. How many of us want to eagerly take the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He's giving free, unlimited Krishna prema. But to get it, we must first take the mercy of Lord Nityananda. And if we study in our pastimes, we'll see this. Our great acharyas and great devotees, they're always first taking the mercy of Lord Nityananda. When Raghunath Das Goswami wanted to be with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he made so many different endeavors to try to run away from home, separate himself from his, material entanglement. What is not material, but he was entangled by that environment. And it was not happening. Was not happening. Each of his efforts were being, upended. But finally, he found his opening. And what is the first thing he did when he left home? Went to go see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Enjoyed Gaura Leela and Jagannath Puri, Rath Yatra festival, wonderful Jagannath Prasadam. That's what he did. He first met Lord Nityananda. When he received the blessings of Lord Nityananda by very sweetly feeding all the devotees of Panihati in Panihati, and had this glorious Chiddadahi festival that we celebrate. Then his ticket was processed to go see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Rup and Sanatan Goswami were so eager to take initiation and get the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to their hometown, not quite their hometown, but where they were residing in Ramkeli. And in the middle of the night, they were ready to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And you can imagine how eager and enthusiastic they were to see their Supreme Lord. And so they ran to the Lord. They first went to Lord Nityananda, offered their obeisances, received the blessings of Lord Nityananda, and once bestowed the mercy of Lord Nityananda, then they received the blessings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This Chaitanya Charitamrita, it was authored by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. We'll also read some verses from Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, which was written by Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur. These are the authorized Shastras on the life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And how they became able to write about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Because they received the blessings of Lord Nityananda. We'll sing one bhajan, hopefully time permitting, in a little bit. And there Narottam Das Thakur says, Heno Nitai Bine Bai Radha Krishna Paite Nai. That if one is eager to see and to serve in the transcendental pastimes of Radha Krishna, these are the highest pastimes of spiritual love, of Krishna Prema. And this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to reveal to all of us. This highest rasa. Why it's called highest? Because the intensity of love is highest in this pastime. Even higher than the love between Mother Yashoda and Krishna. Between the cowherd boys and Krishna. Now, we have to be a little careful, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explains that we're talking in the realms of perfection. Everything is perfect and absolute, but still there is more perfect and even most perfect. So this Radha Krishna pastimes is the most, the ultimate, the highest of all bhakti. And that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was given to who? The PhDs in bhakti? The IIT graduates in bhakti? No, the dropouts. But to get this mercy, we must obtain first the mercy of Lord Nityananda. That's why Narottam Das Thakur says, Heno Nitai Bine Bai. Without the mercy of this Nitai, Radha Krishna, Paite Nai. Won't happen. It won't happen. Impossible. So this is the shastric injunction. This is what we see in practice. That the mercy of Lord Nityananda is required. Now the next question becomes what? If we need the mercy of Lord Nityananda, what's the next question? Huh? How to get Lord Nityananda's mercy? Anybody wants to know?
Yes.
Good, so do I. How do we find? We have to read. We have to see what comes from our Shastra. So let me first, I don't think we're all convinced yet of the glories of Lord Nityananda. Everyone's convinced? If you were, you would all get up here, get out, drive to temple and go offer your obeisances to Lord Nityananda. So I don't think we're convinced. I'm not convinced at least. So because I'm not convinced, I'd like to read some verses. This is from Chaitanya Bhagavat, Madhya Khand, chapter number 22. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaking, and he is glorifying this Lord Nityananda. It's I won't get into all the pastime that led up to it. Very sweet, but just hear what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying about the position of Lord Nityananda. Without reservation, Lord Gaura Chandra addressed Nityananda Swarup as Ishvara, the Supreme Lord. Next verse. By the mercy of Nityananda, one can know Gaura Chandra. And by the mercy of Nityananda, one can recognize a Vaishnava. So these verses are coming after the pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Mahaprakash Lila, in which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed us most important instruction. Those of you who have heard that, what is the most important lesson we learn from this Mahaprakash Lila? When Krishna was showing his, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was showing his opulence and bestowing benedictions upon everybody. What? Humility. I'll give you a hint. What? Vaishnava Prad. How did he show that? Who was restricted? Huh? Who did not get their Krishna Prema that day? Only person? Come on. His mother. Mother? Sachimata. Why? Because she had supposedly, let's say the word supposedly, offended Advaitacharya. It was in a transcendental pastime. So after concluding that, of course there was no real offense. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is here glorifying. And he is saying something very important. That by the mercy of Nityananda, one can recognize a Vaishnava. Because in our not recognizing, we may sometimes inadvertently create Vaishnava Aparad. So how to avoid Vaishnava Aparad? We must have the mercy of Lord Nityananda to make us aware. By the mercy of Nityananda, you all will be very interested in this. I was very interested in this. By the mercy of Lord Nityananda, one's offenses are destroyed. And by the mercy of Nityananda, one attains devotional service to the Supreme Lord. Who is speaking? Krishna himself. The servants of Nityananda. Now, if you want to be a servant of Nityananda, you must be in this category. The servants of Nityananda never engage in blasphemy. Day and night, they happily sing the gossip of others, all the faults of everybody else, the flaws of their husband or wife, or their child, or brother or mother or father. Day and night, they happily sing the glories of Lord Chaitanya. The devotees of Lord Nityananda are always cautious. The servants of Nityananda Prabhu know only Lord Chaitanya as their life and wealth. Less fortunate people are not able to become servants of Lord Nityananda, by whose mercy one can understand Lord Gaurachandra. Anyone who hears the topics regarding Vishwarup becomes Lord Ananta's servant. Nityananda becomes his very life and soul. So this is some beautiful verses. I don't recall. I've read them before. I don't recall reading them. I read them recently and I thought, very nice. To show us who is Lord Nityananda. So it is by his mercy that we see. So how now we are going to get the mercy of Lord Nityananda? That we need the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Because without the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we would have no scope to know anything about Lord Nityananda. But Srila Prabhupada went even one step further. And he manifested Lord Nityananda in our temple, in our Devasadan Mandir. Personally installing our Gaur Nitai deities on his last visit in 1976. These deities are so powerful. They are so powerful. Yes, we want the mercy of Radha Kunj Bihari, Radha Krishna. And sometimes we, come in the temple, we quickly offer obeisance to Gaur Nitai, because I see everybody's doing it, and I go to Radha Kunj Bihari. But when next time we go and offer obeisances, remember this line, Heno Nitai Bine Vai, Radha Krishna Bhaitena. First beg, Lord Nityananda, give me the mercy to know who is Krishna and who is Radha. Because we'll not know devotee of Krishna without the mercy of Lord Nityananda. But Lord Nityananda's mercy is so magnanimous. We see in the pastime of Jagai and Madai. Very important realization from that. That even when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was ready to end Jagai and Madai. Why? Because they had offended Lord Nityananda. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was the most tolerant, most forgiving. Many people were insulting him. Many people doing all kinds of nonsense. He didn't care. But as soon as Jagai and Madai gave harm to Lord Nityananda, it was game over. All bets are off. And he immediately summoned Sudarshana Chakra to kill Jagai and Madai. And how they were saved? Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda begged Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, please, don't kill them. And he pleaded a case for Jagai. This is how magnanimous Lord Nityananda is. He glorified Jagai by saying that when Madai was about to hit me with a second time, it was Jagai who stopped him. And Lord Chaitanya, really? How much service does it take to Lord Nityananda to please Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Let us see. You know what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said in response? Jagai, he didn't quite say this, but let's make sure that those who are not familiar. Jagai was the most heinous drunkard. He was a murderer. He was a meat eater. He was a rapist. He was the most fallen of person. Every sinful activity one can do, Jagai and his brother Madai were doing. But when Lord Nityananda informed that Jagai stopped from hitting a second time, didn't stop him the first time, but a second time, what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said? By your service to Lord Nityananda, you have purchased me. You'll let anybody purchase you? How much you would charge? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I am yours because you have served Lord Nityananda. Now was Jagai serving Lord Nityananda out of love? Was he massaging his feet? Was he making a nice offering for him? Was he singing the glories of Nityananda Ram? No. He had a small pocket of his heart with some compassion that he should not hit him a second time. And that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took as the most glorious service and bestowed upon Jagai instantly pure devotional service. Jagai went from the most fallen to a pure devotee instantly. Instantly. Moments later from this pastime, Jagai and Madai were dancing and singing and kirtan with the intimate associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is the potency of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. But how Jagai got that mercy? From Lord Nityananda. By his service to Lord Nityananda. Now what about Madai? He have hit Lord Nityananda. And Madai begs for forgiveness. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, you cannot beg from me. You have to beg from Lord Nityananda. And what did Lord Nityananda do? He forgave. But he didn't just forgive. He embraces Madai. And when he embraces Madai, they are embraced heart to heart. All of Lord Nityananda's purity flowed into Madai. And he went from a blackish person, full of sin, to an effulgent, radiant, pure devotee of the Lord. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just asked him to forgive. But did Lord Nityananda stop? He bestowed pure bhakti upon him. This is the mercy of Lord. So if Jagai and Madai could receive the mercy of Lord Nityananda with this type of service, imagine our circumstance. When if we render service with faith in the potency of Lord Nityananda. Actually, when Lord Nityananda saw Jagai and Madai a few days prior to this incident, and then the report came at the end of the day, Advaita Acharya makes one comment that is even more stunning about how powerful Lord Nityananda is. That these two drunkard men were walking down the street. They were not even walking, they were stumbling. They were so intoxicated. And they were so fat, they were just like rolling and just mess. And they yelled at Lord Nityananda and Haridas Thakur and they ran away. When that report came back, Advaita Acharya said, the pure devotees. And Haridas Thakur says, have you lost your mind? Do you know this Jagai and Madai? They are the heinous. And Advaita Acharya says, you see, soon these two will be dancing and singing with us. And Haridas Thakur is like, this old man has lost his mind. That is crazy. This is Jagai Madai. And then Advaita Acharya says, why they were delivered? Simply because Lord Nityananda saw them. All we have to do is just come into the vision of Lord Nityananda. And our life is saved. Just coming into the vision of Lord Nityananda, Jagai Madai's position was cemented. So yes, it may take a little bit of austerity to get in the car, a warm car, drive to the temple. Maybe there's some cold, maybe some ice on the road, maybe this, maybe that. But what are we getting? The opportunity for Lord Nityananda to see us. Just forget about us rendering service. Just by coming under the glance of Lord Nityananda, our life is saved. So this is the power of Lord Nityananda. So merciful. And when we render service to Lord Nityananda, our life becomes Nityananda. What does Nityananda mean? Nitya? Ananda. Eternal bliss. How many of us want eternal bliss? Then we go get it from He who is named eternal bliss. Even I can understand that. That is simple. Just worship Lord Nityananda Ram. The process of devotional service is not so easy. Why? Because of our ahankara, our false ego. Our false ego is so bad that it bewilders us. So when we need strength in our spiritual life, we go to Lord Nityananda. Because we know Lord Balaram, the meaning of Lord Balaram means the giver of strength. Not physical strength, spiritual strength. Because our physical strength, the strongest person in the world, being able to lift enough, everything. As soon as that spirit soul leaves that body, that strong body, how strong that body is. The moment it leaves, how strong that body is. Psh, nothing. So what is this strength? It is not our material strength. It is our spiritual strength. And Lord Nityananda is the giver of our spiritual strength. When we are struggling in the process of chanting our rounds nicely, reading Srila Prabhupada's books, rendering service, honoring Prasadam, we pray to Lord Nityananda for this strength. And He will manifest it. Because He is most compassionate and most loving. And He fulfills all of our desires to achieve spiritual success. I'll tell one story. I think I don't remember which ones I told. I told the story of the crow. You don't know? No? So Lord Nityananda has many very sweet pastimes. You know, in his childhood, maybe a little just short sketch. He grew up, appeared in the town of Ekachakra, which is 3-4 hours from Sridham Mayapur in West Bengal. His parents, his father was Hadai Pandit, his mother was Padmavati. And he grew up in a very fun way, performing all the pastimes of Krishna through different dramas and performances and, you know, light, nice activities. Maybe on Sunday and Monday we can speak more about that aspect of his life. And then at the age of 12, he left home to serve one sannyasi who had come to the home of Hadai Pandit. And the sannyasi asked his father if Lord Nityananda could travel with him to serve him on his journeys. And there for 20 years, Lord Nityananda traveled all over India to perform different pastimes. And then he was staying in Vrindavan. And he was waiting for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to inaugurate his Sankirtana movement. And so, at the age of 32, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was ready to now propagate his Sankirtan movement, he called Lord Nityananda from Vrindavan. Now I said, you cannot get the mercy of Lord Nityananda without the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Right? We know you cannot get Chaitanya Mahaprabhu without the mercy of Lord Nityananda. But you cannot get Lord Nityananda without the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we see this. Because when Lord Nityananda came to Navadvip, Navadvip is a small village. And he told Haridas Thakur and Srivas Thakur, hey, some great person has come, go find him. So in a small village is not hard, right? Anybody comes, the rumor mill starts, messages go out on WhatsApp, everybody knows, oh, somebody as big has come. All day they went and searched, and they could not find it. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu received the news at the end of the day that they could not find him, and he smiled. And he says, you cannot find this Lord Nityananda. He's very mysterious and plays all kinds of mischief. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took all the devotees and they went to the house of Nandanacharya, and there they saw Lord Nityananda. And here our Acharyas comment that actually it is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who can bring us to Lord Nityananda. Even Haridas Thakur and Srivas Thakur were not able to see Lord Nityananda without first the benediction of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Lord Nityananda, when he came to Navadvip, he was 32 years old. But in spiritual life, his age is irrelevant. When he came to Navadvip, he was coming in a mood of this childhood pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan. So he would perform all these childhood pastimes. And he was staying in the house of Srivas Thakur. Srivas Thakur of Panchatattva, you can see here, is situated furthest most on the right hand side. And Srivas Thakur was a grahasta. His wife's name was Malini Devi. And so Lord Nityananda considered them his mother and father. So he would perform all kinds of funny pastimes. Some we cannot understand in our material mundane senses. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would have to chastise Lord Nityananda that you cannot do mischief. Because sometimes Lord Nityananda would throw his prasadam. Sometimes he would take off all his clothes and run around in the courtyard. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would come and say, put your clothes on. And he would personally dress him like this. But every time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would chastise him, why you are taking off your clothes, he would say, I want to eat. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would say, why you're doing this mischief? He says, tomorrow I'll go. And every question Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would ask him, he would give some other answer. So like this, Lord Nityananda was always performing, very, very sweet pastimes. He would not eat in the home of Srivas Thakur by himself. Mother Malini Devi had to feed him. So she would personally feed Lord Nityananda with his own hands. Again, his mood was playing in this very child-like pastime. He would not eat by himself. This 32-year-old grown man would sit on the lap of Malini Devi and take his prasad, just as a mother feeds a young boy. So like this, a very, very sweet relationship that he had. But one day, Malini Devi is in the courtyard of their home, and one crow came. And this crow came and grabbed in his beak one brass pot and took it away. And so Malini Devi began to lament. And then she saw the crow coming back, so she became happy. But when the crow came back, saw that the bowl was not there. So she started to cry and lament. And so Lord Nityananda came and said, "Hey, mother, what is the cause of your lamentation?" He says, "This crow has taken, Srivas Thakur's pot. It was this pot that he used to hold ghee in, that he would use in his service to his deities. And now it's gone and he'll become very upset." Nalini Devi said, "So what to do?" So she was crying and crying. And Lord Nityananda simply says, "No problem, no problem." He says, "Crow, go and bring the pot back." Nalini Devi is, "Huh?" And so the crow went, got the pot, and brought it back. And Nalini Devi is stunned. The same person who is eating, from her own hands, who is playing all kinds of mischief and doing so many funny pastimes, the same boy retrieved this pot. And then she speaks some very beautiful verses, glorifying Lord Nityananda, saying, "What is the big deal that you brought this pot? You and your brother Krishna, after taking Shiksha in Sandip Muni's ashram, as Guru Dakshina, what you did? You went and retrieved his dead son. So what is the big deal of retrieving this small brass pot?" He says, "In your form as Ananta Shesh, you are holding on your hoods millions of universes." Now she's knowing this Lord Nityananda is none other than Lord Balaram, Ananta Shesh. And holding all these millions of universes, they feel like a speck of dust on your head. You don't even feel its weight. And so how it's so impossible that you brought this small steel pot. And like this, she goes on to glorify all beautiful pastimes of Krishna and Balaram, telling us in our own mood, understanding who is this Lord Nityananda, and at the same time enjoying very, very sweet pastimes. So these are the different activities that Lord Nityananda performed. But in the end, we know that it is by the mercy of Lord Nityananda that we can achieve the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we pray on his appearance day to come under his glance, to have his mercy, so that we can achieve the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, achieve the mercy of Radha Kunj Bihari, and obtain the strength to overcome all the obstacles in our devotional service, so that we can end our suffering and end Krishna's suffering, who is pained in separation from us, and go back home, back to Godhead, and enjoy Nitya Ananda, eternal bliss, under the loving shelter of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Radha Kunj Bihari, and Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much. Lord Nityananda Rama ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Dr. Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda ki Jai. Any discussion, comments, questions? Okay. We did not get to this, but yes.
There are total 5. So one last one is you said
Srivas Thakur.
Other one.
So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of course, is Krishna, right? So situated in the middle, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. His first expansion, Bhakta Swarup, is Lord Nityananda. Then Bhakta Avatar is incarnation, is Advaita Acharya, who is a combination of Mahavishnu and Sadashiva. Then Bhakti Shaktikam, Shakti Tattva, is Gadadhar Pandit, is an expansion from Srimati Radharani. And his devotee expansion as Srivas Thakur. So these are the Pancha Tattvas. That's why we chant Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Srila Prabhupada explains that this mantra is so powerful. That is why we must chant this mantra before chanting the mantra of how we can chant the mantra of Hare and Krishna, which is Radha and Krishna, without first obtaining the mercy of Lord Nityananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that's why we chant first this Pancha Tattva mantra. Any other comments or questions?
Gaurachandra means Krishna Prabhu.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The golden avatar, golden expansion. Why is golden? We'll discuss during Gaur Purnima classes. You all want to, should we chant? Yes.
Who is easy to please?
Who is what?
Who is easy to please by worshipping? Is it Lord Nityananda or is it Chaitanya Prabhu or is it Lord?
Who is easy to please? So Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, Radha, Krishna, right? Who is easy to please? It's a good question. Because we want the straightest route. So Srila Prabhupada established that we should first learn the worship and service to Gaur Nitai, Lord Nityananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. By their mercy, then we can please Radha Krishna. When we serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda, they are very tolerant and forgiving. We may make some mistakes in our service, but they don't take so seriously. Radha Krishna Seva is very serious. So we can say that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being Mahavadanaya, most merciful, is the easiest to please, because he says what we need to do to please, just chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. But even that we find difficult. Why? Why do we find that difficult? Only one reason. As Narottam Das Thakur tells us, Se sambandha nahi jaan, Prita janma gelo taan, Se pashu boro durachar. What it means? Se sambandha nahi jaan. Without any relationship with Lord Nityananda, sambandha, no relationship, our entire janma is wasted. It's a strong statement. But he explains why. Se pashu boro durachar. That without a relationship with Lord Nityananda, you will act worse than an animal. Why worse than an animal? Because a wild animal, by expert work, can be tamed. Right? You can tame a wild animal. But in a human form of life, when the senses go uncontrolled, nothing can tame it. Only through spiritual life can we truly control the senses and stop the insanity that takes place around us every day. So without this sambandha with Lord Nityananda, and we can say with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that we have no hope. And we also see this very beautiful bhajan, Parama Karuna, Pavidui Jana. This Parama Karuna, this ultimate mercy is coming from these two persons, Nitai, Gaura Chandra. Sabha Avatar, Sarashiromani. That of all the avatars, this is the crown jewel. Because they are giving this mercy. So unequivocally, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda, they are the easiest to please. And we should approach them in our practice of devotional service. And when we become very, very advanced, we go straight to Radha Krishna. How advanced was Raghunath Das Goswami? How advanced was Rup Sanatan Goswami? Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami? Vrindavan Das Thakur? Still, at that advanced rung of purity, their mood of worship was first through Lord Nityananda. So this is our now eternal asset. By the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we understand how to perform our devotional service. Any other? Yeah.
What's the difference between the Sri Chaitanya Bhagavata and the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita?
Yeah, so Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Bhagavat. So these are two of the authorized presentations of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life. Of course, Chaitanya Charitamrita is presented by Srila Prabhupada. It is considered the most essential knowledge that we must acquire in the practice of our devotional service in our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. The difference in these books, Chaitanya Bhagavat primarily covers the early pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So from his childhood pastimes in Navadvip through his sannyas lila. And Chaitanya Charitamrita being presented after Chaitanya Bhagavat was written. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami speaks about this, that I am now presenting the pastimes in the second half, because it has already been covered elaborately by Vrindavan Das Thakur and Chaitanya Bhagavat. There is some overlap. Some things Chaitanya Bhagavat covers about later pastimes, just like some earlier past, but primarily this is first half, second half of the life.
That means first we need to read Bhagavatam from right?
No, first read Chaitanya Charitamrita. That is most essential. But I warn you, once you start reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, you'll never put it down. Your sleep will go down. Everything else will become second. Even your eating. If you want a good diet plan, read Chaitanya Charitamrita. You won't even have time to eat. It's so sweet and so addicting. Just don't read while you're driving. Please. But it can happen. It's so addicting. You all want should we sing this Nitai Pada Kamala? You all have it on your phones? Can you post in the groups? The WhatsApp groups? Just so this is a song written by Narottam Das Thakur on the glories of Lord Nityananda. So you can pull it up, Nitai Pada Kamala. You can post in your WhatsApp group, so everybody from KK Songs. That's the best place to get it. Everybody has it? I'm hearing beeping, so I'm assuming someone's posting. Everybody has it?
Yep.
So we'll just read the translation a little bit. So the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda are a shelter where one will get something, soothing moonlight, not only of one, but millions of moons. If the world wants to have real peace, it should take shelter of Lord Nityananda. Unless one takes shelter under the shade of the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, it will be very difficult for him to approach Radha Krishna, If one actually wants to enter into the dancing party of Radha Krishna, he must firmly catch hold of the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. But what's the problem? We see in the second word. Anyone who has not established his relationship with Nityananda Prabhu is understood to have spoiled his valuable human birth. Such a human birth is actually an uncontrollable animal because he has never uttered the holy name of Nityananda. He has become merged into so-called material happiness. What can his useless education and family traditions do to help him? Being maddened after false prestige and identification of the body, one is thinking, oh, what is Nityananda? What can he do for me? I don't care. The result is he is accepting something false to be true. If you actually want to approach the association of Radha Krishna, you must first achieve the mercy of Lord Nityananda. When is he mercifully toward you? Then you will be able to approach Radha Krishna. Therefore, you should firmly grasp the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. The lotus feet of Nityananda are not illusion, they are fact. One who engages in the transcendental loving service of Nityananda is also transcendental. Always try to catch the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. This Narottam Das is very unhappy. Therefore I am praying to the Lord Nityananda to make me happy. My dear Lord, please keep me close to your lotus feet. Very nice prayer. So you all have it? Narottam Das Thakur. So we'll sing 2 lines at a time. Nittai pada kamala Koti chanda sushitala Ekaya jagata jura Nittai pada kamala Koti chanda sushitala Ekaya jagata jura Eno nitai jine bai Radha Krishna paite nai Nitya kori daro nitai pai Eno nitai jine bai Radha Krishna paite nai Nitya kori daro nitai pai Nittai pada kamala Koti chanda sushitala Ekaya jagata jura Nittai pada kamala Koti chanda sushitala Ekaya jagata jura Say sambandha nahira Vriksha janma kilota Say pashu koro duracha Say sambandha nahira Vriksha janma kilota Say pashu koro duracha Nitai na bolilo mukhe Majila samsara sukhe Vidya kole ki kori beta Nitai na bolilo mukhe Majila samsara sukhe Vidya kole ki kori beta Ahankara mata hoya Nitai